West Ham are a shambles, a club in absolute crisis at the moment. Yesterday, Julen Lopetegui was supposed to be sacked. He didn't get sacked. I'm telling you what you already know. Nobody will convince me that the intention yesterday wasn't to sack him. I think Lopetegui attended the training ground expecting to be fired. I think whichever board members attended the training ground did so in the expectation that they would sack Lopetegui. Anybody that joined on a Zoom call thought it was Lopetegui over. Something happened, and maybe we'll discuss that in more detail tomorrow, if I've got the will to do so. Honestly, it's been completely draining this. But anyway, something happened in between deciding to sack Lopetegui and then at the end of the day, him being given the Wolves job as sort of one more chance. I can't believe, as well as Lopetegui interviewed, I can't believe that he schmoozed and convinced them to such an extent that he persuaded them against their decision. I think something else happened, and there's lots of rumours doing the rounds at the moment that we offered a bunch of coaches short-term deals. They didn't accept it. But one thing I do know is that West Ham no longer have the manager in place that they believe can do the job. Basically, he's a lame duck. He's an absolute limbo. Most of the fan base don't believe that he is the right manager for the West Ham job and to take the club forward. The club don't either. So the club are going to ask you to turn up and pay your money to watch a team that's led by a man they don't even have any more faith in. It's a bit like me trying to sell you a Manscaped shaver, but I won't use it myself because it's absolutely preposterous. However, I don't want to get too sidetracked by that because there was something that was said. In fact, there was something that wasn't said yesterday, which I think speaks volumes. And this is what came from the other side. And when I say the other side, I don't mean like in a séance sense, not being all mystical. It was what the club asked of Lopetegui when he was at interview, what they mandated him to do. Lopetegui will tell you that there were 3 points. There were 3 things that he was asked, 3 objectives. Now, we know this because yesterday he leaked some news to Sky Sports. I don't blame him for doing so. Let me just say that. I am not... In many respects, I'm past criticising Lopetegui. If we lose against Wolves, it ain't Lopetegui's fault as far as I'm concerned, all right? If we continue to muddle ahead, this has gone past Lopetegui's fault. It is the board. The board had a vote, and they made a decision yesterday. This is all on them. From henceforth, it's all on them, as far as I'm concerned. However, so Lopetegui leaked some news to Sky Sports. I suspect it was via Guillaume Balaguer, who of course used to work for Sky Sports for years. And it was his version of events. I don't mind, let's be fair, Tim Steighton's leaked his version of events on several occasions, hasn't he? Certainly the board have leaked their version of events on numerous occasions. Why shouldn't Lopetegui? Good luck to him. What he did say was quite insightful, and I'm going to paraphrase here. There were three mandated objectives he was given and tasked to do upon getting the West Ham job. The first one was to integrate 9 new players into the team, some of whom, and I don't particularly want to misquote him here, but some of whom didn't have top-level experience. That was number one. So he's saying he needs more time to do that. The second one, which he also needed more time for, was to implement a new style of play which would create more chances. Reading between the lines, a more attractive style of play that would create more chances. That in itself is worth analysing to the extreme. I was annoyed about it yesterday. I haven't calmed down on that. West Ham wanted to get rid of David Moyes. They wanted a more attacking manager. West Ham hired a defensive manager and asked him to do attacking, and it's not worked. It's horrendous. It's horrendous. That in itself should preclude anyone that's made that decision from making any further decisions at West Ham. It's crazy. I can't think of another industry where you'd get away with doing that. Anyway, I'm going to leave that. The third thing that he was mandated to do was win more games. Now, the statement went on to say that he felt that he needed more time and he had achieved 2 of those tasks, or he was working on 2 of those tasks. I suspect what he's saying is, I know I haven't won the games yet, but I am integrating the players and I'm changing the style of football. I could just carry on this video just talking about that, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave that for the moment, right? What it didn't say and this is crucial because we now know what the board have asked him for, these three things. What was missing from that? Well, I'll tell you what was missing from that. Create a pathway for youth players into the first team. Try and integrate some of our FA Youth Cup winning team. I think I'm more annoyed about this than almost anything else. There appears to be no direction from the club instructing the head coach to use the academy. And I've got to put this into context here. Lopetegui was given a 2-year deal with an option. So basically, if all the ducks line up, it's a 3-year contract. Not at any point within that is he mandated or tasked with promoting any of our youth players. I have to say, and I don't want to lose any of our youth players, but I'd be running a mile from West Ham now upon hearing that statement yesterday. That was the insight, the little glimpse that we got, there to what West Ham are asking of their head coach. That's a shocker. Now, it may well be, let me just say that, let me try and be as reasonable as possible here. It may well be that they did ask him and he's just admitted it, so maybe there were 4 points. And if that's the case, then we're dealing with a high-level manipulator here who's leaving things out. But I don't know. I don't know what the truth is, but it is very, very, very concerning. Something else that's very concerning I want to talk about in just a second before I go any further. Can I please interest you in today's sponsor, Manscaped, who make the best male grooming tools available on the market. And I say that as someone that uses them. I'm not going to ask you to use something that I don't. This is the Lawnmower 5.0. This is a really, really crafty bit of kit. It's got interchangeable heads. My favourite bit of kit is the beard trimmer. I've had a fresh groom today, actually. Number 3 on the sides, number 5 on the old tash. I don't know what the old Dairy Lee triangle there, I think that was a number 5, something like that. The great thing about the beard trimmer is it's got an adjustable nozzle at the top. So it hasn't got basically, like you go to hairdressers, you say, oh, I'll have a 0.5 there, and they take the nozzle off. Oh, and I'll have a number 2 there. Don't want to have a number 2 at the hairdressers, do you? They put another nozzle on. No, the beard trimmer's not like that. It basically raises up and down. I just think it's just the best shaver I've ever seen in my life. We're going to give you 20% off of all their products. The link is in the description below. Go to the Manscaped website and well, use your promo code, use your discount codes. Hammers Chat Pubes, all one word. Hammers Chat Pubes. Eh? There you go. 20% off plus free shipping. Go and check out their products. They are brilliant. Right, I'm having a swig of my tea. I'm talking quick again. Graham Potter. Let's just have a quick chat about Graham Potter. The club have now denied that they offer Graham Potter a short-term deal. Just in case you missed yesterday, probably not a bad day to miss, actually. Just in case you missed what happened at West Ham. As you probably gathered from the start of the video, West Ham brought in Julen Lopetegui with the intention of sacking him. They didn't sack him. One of the... it's not a conspiracy theory. One of the reasons given was that of the 3 managers that they approached, as I understand it, it was Graham Potter, and Sergio Conceição, and one other. I don't know who it is, right? Because some people say it's Carrick, some people say it's the former Danish manager, some people say it's Terzic, but then Florian Plettenberg said that Terzic wasn't even offered the job. I don't know. So anyway, I just want to say it's just Potter. Apparently, or so it goes, that West Ham offered him a deal until the end of the season, and he said no. West Ham have denied this, but I just want to make this point now. I want Iraola. Iraola's the manager that I would like, if not Marco Silva. I'm not just reacting off of last night because they had good results last night. I've been saying it for a while, and regular watchers will know that. Graham Potter was not my choice, or nowhere near my choice, but if it was a choice of Lopetegui or Potter, I would take Potter, right? But I think 6 months is a good one, a really good one. And I'll tell you why, because I think Potter is damaged. Sorry, somebody clipped something that I said yesterday over on our Patreon WhatsApp group, and they made it sound like I was talking about Harry Potter, and now I can't stop talking about Potter without having like wizard stuff in my head. Anyway, there you go. So anyway, look, Potter's damaged goods. Graham, not the wizard, right? Well, he's probably damaged goods as well, isn't he? Old Harry. Harry would do a better job. He really would. I can't be the first person that said that. Harry would do a better job than Lopetegui. I think 6 months is good. Would be good for Graham Potter. Graham Potter is in exactly the same situation that David Moyes was when he did his first stint at West Ham. He was damaged goods. He'd had a complete and utter failure, hadn't he? Was it Real Sociedad and then Sunderland? He needed to repair his reputation. It was basically, he was mandated. He had one task. He wasn't given a 3 task. One task, save West Ham from relegation. He did it. Got a £2 million bonus. If that had been offered to Potter, I've got to stop saying Potter. There's no way of saying it without it sounding right. We can't hire him, can we? Because I can't stop. Anyway, we can't have that. I can't be doing daily videos and thinking about wizards and Hagrid and Dumbledore and all that stuff. Anyway, his reputation's damaged because of Chelsea. People say he lacks leadership. That's one of the things. So I think 6 months would be a good opportunity for him to prove himself. If he's half as good as he thinks he is, he'd get the job anyway. But I do think he would change the style of football. But the accusation is that he lacks a little bit of leadership, and he's not tough. I'll tell you now, you've got to be tough at West Ham. You are going to have to be really, really tough at West Ham. And I'm not entirely sure whether, for that reason, he'd be a good choice. Which is why 6 months I think would be good. If he's no good, I think he's good enough to keep us up. If it doesn't work out, then maybe we'd go and we would approach Iraola at the end of the season. If I thought we were going to do that, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm not sure we're that good or that strategic in our thinking. It worries me that we're really not. If he's not strong and he hasn't got that determination, and I'm starting to think that maybe, for all David Moyes' faults with his football, maybe it took that strength of character that he was able to deal with a board, he was able to deal with Steiter. Maybe that's why he succeeded. Maybe it wasn't just football. Maybe he was strong enough to work in this toxic environment when as you can see from yesterday, where they can't make a decision. They don't know what type of manager they want. They think they might want to play more attacking football, so they hire a defensive manager with a defensive record, with a history of falling out with people, and then ask him to manage West Ham, get us playing attacking football and not fall out with people. Well, it's not worked on either thing. So you can see how muddled their thinking is. So what you're asking is a new manager to work with those people. Really, really difficult. And then you get to Steiten. Any new manager coming in has got to work with Tim Steiten. I think you would want to look at him. 6 months would be enough to have a little look. Look, it may well be that Tim Steiten is perfectly innocent and a brilliant guy. But you'd want to find out, right? He's had big fallouts with both Lopetegui and with David Moyes. We only have 2 examples of Tim Steiten with head coaches, and he's fallen out with both of them. So if I was number 3 and coming along, I'd be sleeping with one eye open. Let's put it that way. I'd certainly be doing that. So my point is, be it Steiten, be it the board, be it anything else, I think you've got a really difficult job here. You need to be a strong, single-minded guy. And maybe Lopetegui is that. But unfortunately, because he's that and he's compromised in his footballing philosophy, in much the same way as David Moyes was when he tried to play attacking football and he reverted back. Perhaps because he's compromised, he just can't do it. No wonder his messaging is muddled. No wonder when he's addressing the players, they're not believing his instructions because he doesn't believe them himself. Because it's not what he believes. It's not his footballing philosophy. Don't believe that stuff. There you go. Anyway, there you go. Just a very, very frustrating day at West Ham yesterday. It really is. And I don't know about anyone else if you're watching the football last night. You know, watching all of it. Like Tottenham lost, but, you know, and obviously so did Brighton. But any of those teams that were playing, you looked at them and you thought, well, these guys are, not just the teams that won, but these guys are miles ahead of us. We're so antiquated. We're like an antique. Honestly, we really are. We're like a gramophone. Amongst a load of what are they called, earbuds, earpods? I don't even know. I'm like a gramophone, aren't I? You know what I mean? Honestly, we really are. We're like a plasma TV, and everyone else has got iPhones. Anyway, there you go. Look, sorry. Anyway, I'll probably depress you even more. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. I'll depress you then as well.